Buenos dias. This morning we're going to Taxco and Cuernavaca.
In the last installment of my Mexico City vlog series, we are taking another day trip. For this excursion, we had to leave the state of Mexico and enter Morelos. That's like driving out of California to go to Arizona. My ears were popping in the car, and then I realized that we were descending. Remember, Mexico City is at altitude and is actually at higher elevation than Denver, Colorado. Cuernavaca has a charming town center. It was noticeably warmer and sunnier here than in Mexico City.
And an hour later from Mexico City, we're here in Cuernavaca.
The main attraction on our tour was the Cathedral of Cuernavaca, where the Franciscan monks had set up their missionary base here. Inside the cathedral, you can see some historical murals. We were supposed to go to the Palacio de Cortés, where Hernán Cortés had set up shop when he colonized Mexico. However, it was closed when we went due to pandemic restrictions. At least we were able to get a closer view as we drove past it, leaving the city center. Now, we're headed to the main attraction of the day, Taxco. As it turns out, we had to enter another state, and it was Guerrero. One word of warning: the road to Taxco is winding. If you get motion sickness easily, be careful what you eat in the morning. Fortunately for us, we had missed breakfast at our hotel because our tour guide had picked us up ahead of schedule, so we had nothing in our stomachs. Someone in our group did end up getting sick and we had to pull over briefly. Before entering Taxco, we stopped off at a visitor center. They welcomed us with a local beverage consisting of lime juice, honey, and tequila. It was refreshing after that long drive. We were then given an introduction on silver mining, since this area is famous for its silver. No wonder why the Europeans set up shop here.
Oh boy, that welcome drink that they gave us, I think it had a lot more tequila than I thought because I'm turning red.
I might be a little buzzed, which is the perfect time to do some jewelry shopping. At least here, I know everything I buy is authentically silver, and it comes with a receipt with all of the store's information.
Now it's time for almuerzo or lonche.
It's cool that this restaurant has a mural that basically explains the entire history of Mexico. Let me try to pick out certain aspects of it to test what I have learned during my week in Mexico City.
Juan Diego with...
Oh, right, there's Juan Diego.
And then there's Guadalupe.
Juan Diego and Guadalupe.
Yes, and then that's Chapultepec Castle, which we were at. There's Maximilian and Charlotte. That golden carriage.
We were serenaded during the lunch hour, and oh my goodness, take a look at this spread. Today was Thanksgiving back in the United States, and I felt thankful that we were celebrating with this huge spread of Mexican food. This buffet just kept going on. As heavy was the food, dessert was light with gelatin and fresh papaya. That's fine, I don't like pumpkin pie anyway. Finally, we're going to Taxco. We have arrived. The roads were winding, but nowhere near as bad as earlier.
After a long, winding drive, we finally made it to Taxco.
Remember, Taxco is known for its silver, so the nobility from the colonial era established themselves here. It has an old world European feel to it. Our tour guide gave us about 90 minutes to walk around on our own, so the first thing we did was go to the cathedral. For a donation, you are allowed to walk up the steps of the bell tower.
It's not a castle I'm climbing. I'm climbing the tower of the cathedral. Oh my gosh, how many more? Looks like a lot more. I think I see the light at the end of the tunnel. And we made it to the very top without falling or colliding with any of the people going downstairs.
I can't get over how this city goes on for miles. The view was well worth the price of admission and effort to climb the stairs.
Wow, there's even a Christ the Redeemer. It looks like Rio de Janeiro, but it's not. We're here in Taxco. And take a look at the Baroque architecture of this tower. It's really ornate.
At least the trip going down the bell tower was a lot easier. We still had some time left, so we decided to walk up one of the hilly streets. There were many narrow side streets, and we didn't have much of a plan. And here's the cathedral from this hill we climbed. See what I mean about the narrow streets? Then it was back down and we got to fit in some more souvenir shopping. Churros? Don't mind if we do. Of course, we have to get it with the chocolate syrup and sweetened condensed milk. I wish we had more time here so I could explore all the other streets in the city center. This place would make for a lovely weekend getaway, but our time in Mexico was limited. Our last look of Taxco before we had to get into our tour van. Our tour guide was insistent that we leave on time because traffic is heavy heading back into Mexico City. At least for this part of the trip, we were traveling at a good speed. Sure enough, we did get within the city limits of Mexico City in good time, but it was the traffic within the city that made it take forever to get back to our hotel. To put it in perspective, it's like going from Pasadena to Santa Monica in rush hour traffic, which can take well over an hour, maybe even 2. Hey, I spied Dr. Simi from Farmacia Similares. I can recognize that rotund face anywhere. This tour was an all-day excursion with half of it being in the car because of the distance. Yet, for the times we were able to walk around, it was enriching. You can't do everything in these all-day excursions, but at least you get a taste. If anything, I gained more knowledge about these cities outside of Mexico City, so if I ever have more time in the future, I know where to go.